Hello, gentle viewers. Just a few minor announcements before we begin today, my friends. The old fat white guy is no more. When I went to copyright the name, turns out there are a lot of old fat white guys out there, and I thought I was going to have a problem. So the new name here and on the new website that is going up very quickly is Growing Up Homer. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm probably going to have a problem with that yellow cartoon guy. Well, probably so. Hollywood types are like that. I'm sure all of you are familiar with Mark and Donnie Wahlberg. Well, it turns out that their entire family decided to open up a bunch of burger joints across the country they wanted to call Wahlburgers. They were not pleased to find out that there was a restaurant in upstate New York called Tom Walls that already had a burger called the Wahlburger. In a stroke of true hamburger genius, Tom had copyrighted the name Wahlburger when he opened up the restaurant years ago. For once in a very long time, the wealthy Hollywood elite lost the fight in the court. So now the Wahlbergs have to pay licensing fees to Tom Walls. That doesn't usually happen very often. Like the man named McDonald that had a hamburger joint that he named after himself. The people with the golden arches did not treat him like, well, gold. Oh well. So if you really want to try a Wahlburger, don't worry. You can still get one at any of their 6 convenient locations, including the original in Avon, as well as Bushnell's Basin, Canandaigua, Fairport, Brighton, and Newark. As Shakespeare said, a rose by any other name would still taste great next to Tom Walls' chili cheese fries. I think he said that. Didn't he? Yeah, probably. Well, next time you're in Avon, New York, shoot over to Tom Walls' place and pick up a burger. You will not be sorry. This portion of the program has been brought to you by Tom Walls, the best place in the whole world to get a burger. Does that sound like a commercial? Nah, not really. I just like Tom's Burgers. While we're on the subject of food, my gentle viewers, we will now return to my failed attempt to make myself a breakfast frittata. As you remember from our last episode, the frittata turned out to be a frittata. I had forgotten that we had had a power outage and a lot of food in the refrigerator was in there when someone carelessly had left the refrigerator door open during the power failure and was now spoiled beyond recognition. I am a guy. Cleaning things up is not my first instinct. Once again, I digress. The aforementioned attempt failed miserably as the flavor of the spoiled ingredient ended up tasting like, well, a dead fish of some kind. I'm not a fish expert, since fish makes me vomit usually, so you're wondering now, how did I know it tasted like fish if I have never successfully eaten fish? Well, let's do the math. The toilet is only a short jog away from the kitchen table. I blow chunks after putting something in my mouth that is or contains fish. Why? Who knows? But only fish and seafood do that to me. There is no greater evidence than that for me. I refer you to the stains that remain on the walls of my bathroom. Didn't quite make it, so pay attention to the statement about me being a guy and having an aversion to housekeeping. Today, I attempted to make my delicious frittata again. This time, I had removed the offending ingredients from my refrigerator and was ready to try again with fresh food. So first, and this is a very important step when you are a dude living in a dude's house, find a clean pan. After that, find a relatively clean spot on the counter to work with. It should not be difficult, but, well, it is. Once you have found the perfect spot, take your meat of choice and dice it up. In my case, I went for a sort of julienne kind of thing, cutting some ham into thin strips. Now, this is a very good ham. A very, very good ham. I roasted this ham a few days ago, or was it maybe a week ago? I don't know. Who cares? I roasted this ham myself and glazed it with my top secret award-winning ham glaze. Remind me someday to tell you the story of the award-winning ham glaze. Once again, back to the frittata. Put the ham into a frying pan. This one is just about the right size for a single serving for me. Let the ham simmer on medium-low heat for a while as you put your hash brown potatoes and chopped peppers and onions into your handy-dandy air fryer. If you don't have a handy-dandy air fryer, use the oven. If you are worried about getting your hash browns golden brown, spritz them with a little bit of cooking spray. Works great. Takes the hash browns about 20 minutes to get nice and crispy or turn into little bricks of potato, whichever comes first. Your mileage may vary. Don't you love lawyers? Once your potatoes have reached the correct level of tooth-shattering goodness, depending on your own personal taste, add the potatoes to the frying pan with the ham. Now turn the heat down to low. It is especially important if you're using a gas stove. Gas provides much more heat per square inch and per unit of measure than electricity, but that's another show. We will do some destructive testing of stoves one day just for fun. Now, put some bread in the toaster because you could never have too much buttered toast. Here's a good shopping tip for you. I treat my groceries like commodities on the Chicago Commodities Exchange. When the price is low, I buy in bulk. When the price is high, I don't buy anything. This helped me accumulate enough basic essentials like butter to survive the whole COVID atrocity. Pandemic, lockdown, yeah, that works. This idea allows me to save money and be prepared for whatever life throws at me. I was probably the only person in my neighborhood not crying for toilet paper. Now, open a couple of eggs and put them right on top of the frittata. With the eggs added, now is a good time to stir everything up and make it all into one big mixture. Cover the frying pan with a lid. When the toast pops up, butter it before it gets cold and put more bread into toast. When you are happy with the condition of your eggs, turn off the heat and put some cheese on top, whatever cheese you like. When your toast is all done and the cheese is melted, enjoy. This time I did enjoy my delicious frittata. I also drowned the whole thing in Tabasco and ketchup. You have to do that to make sure that everything you're about to eat is dead and safe to eat. Trust me, it can save your life. I hope you've really enjoyed this episode of Cooking with Cam on Growing Up Homer. Stay tuned for new sports and weather coming up at 11. And now that I have said too much, it's time to go. So, from Studio 301 in Tennessee, goodbye, y'all.
I'm not dead.